Well, you know it's the star witness when District Attorney Alvin Bragg comes in and stays for the entire session. I've seen Alvin Bragg come in the courtroom before, but he usually leaves as soon as there's a break. He didn't do that today. The most important thing that the jury heard today, he wasn't thinking about Melania. This was all about the candidate. And that is the essence of Michael Cohen's testimony as it stands now. That was Michael Cohen describing Donald Trump's attitude about paying off Stormy Daniels, about the urgency of paying off Stormy Daniels. Immediately after the Access Hollywood tape came out, he described the effect of the Access Hollywood tape as catastrophic, meaning catastrophic to the campaign. He said repeatedly, "I was following directions." And the most repeated line of Michael Cohen's testimony was, "Just take care of it." And that's Michael Cohen quoting Donald Trump about Stormy Daniels and several other situations similar to the Stormy Daniels situation. The jurors so far have no reason to think anything negative about Michael Cohen. His demeanor has been flawless from the prosecution's standpoint. This is a version of Michael Cohen we don't see publicly. He is composed and he speaks carefully. His answers are short as they can be, which is what the prosecutor wants from him. Frequently the answers are yes and no. There's nothing combative about him. There's nothing defensive about him. And he will, of course, be tested on cross-examination. That's what everyone's waiting for, is who will Michael Cohen be on cross-examination? Because if he is this Michael Cohen, then he's going to win cross-examination, because this particular presentation of himself is a very appropriate courtroom presentation of himself. The Trump behavior as a defendant is the most absurd defendant behavior I've ever seen. First of all, there is the eye closing, which he now does about 10 minutes into the proceeding. And I think he's doing that to try to prove to us that he's actually not sleeping, because it's only 9:40 a.m. But the eyes are closed for extended periods of time. The head starts to tilt. And then when he's not doing that, I actually saw him looking at photographs, and I could see over his shoulder, of what appeared to be crowds, possibly photographs of his rally this weekend, stuff completely unrelated to this case. I think it's a deliberate act. He wants to show that what's happening on that witness stand is not important to him. But he's just the strangest defendant presence you could possibly ask for. And that's before you even get to his previous occupation as president of the United States. Not his kids. There's no plural. There's one designated Trump family member, Eric Trump. No one else comes. No one else from that family has shown up. There's no suggestion that they will. And as soon as they got to the first break, as soon as there was the first recess of the morning, the senators disappeared, and that row became completely empty once again. J.D. Vance was on his phone the entire time. He wasn't taking in a word of testimony. Tuberville, to his credit, straight ahead, listening, taking it all in as best he can, whatever sense he can make of it. They're there to corroborate they're there to help with the sleep defense. Okay, I guess that's where the vice presidential auditioning begins. Can you come in the courtroom and please help with the sleep defense?